Hello, this is Patrick Timms, and I want to say welcome to all you jazz aficionados, practitioners of the craft, what we call modern music. And I'm en route, so that's why I'm not necessarily looking at the camera, being said, keeping my eyes on the road and that kind of thing. But I did want to make a short video. Well, not really a short. Let's make it about 10 minutes long. And you know what I think about? I don't know if you can legally drive and whatever. So I have to be careful about that. I'm getting ready to park and get in just a minute. But the title of this video is I may have to separate it into parts. So let's call this part one. And this part is called, actually the whole series is going to be You Are Your Own Best Teacher. You are your own best teacher. Currently, I'm enrolled at University of Arkansas, Monticello. They're known for their jazz studies program, undergraduate, and maybe 4 or 5 years ago they started a master's in jazz studies program at the school, and it's been absolutely wonderful. Been a great thing for me so far. I have completed the summer one residency. If you want to see kind of what I talk about as far as it relates to University of Arkansas Monticello, I'm sure you can type in my name, Patrick Timms, and you're going to be able to see some of those videos that I put out as it relates to what I've been learning. But I've come to this conclusion. Don't run to teachers expecting them to fix your problems. What I mean is any music problems that you may have. If you can't play changes, don't expect them to fix it. What I mean is fix it. Don't expect them to do the fixing without any effort from your part. And we all know it's going to take effort, but I had this mentality that, if I go here and I take lessons from Professor A, I will be a better player. And if I go here, I'll be good. If I get my master's, I'll be good. If I do this and if I do that, I'll be better. If I do this, you know what? I'm enrolled in my master's. I am studying under Pete Barenbreg. Maybe some of you don't know who that is. He at one time was the NCOIC, or non-commissioned officer in charge of the Airmen of Note. And the Airmen of Note is, I would say, it's the premier military jazz performing ensemble. It's the one that is very competitive to enter and very difficult to enter into. And so he's my professor. He did a little over 20 years as a military performing professional. And after he did those years, he retired. And after he retired, he was able to teach. He worked at Warner Brothers. He did different things like that. So he's got significant playing experience on the flute, on the saxophone, the clarinet, and great player. But my thinking was, if I take lessons from him, I will be prepared to be a professional, or I will, improve. And yes, I have seen improvement learning with him. But I've come to the conclusion that ultimately you are your own best teacher. We've heard this through the years. We've heard that you are your own best teacher and you teach yourself. Now, I'm an educator, and this is something that you need to know. I'm a music educator. I teach. Uh, it doesn't say there's no place for a teacher. I'm not stating that. I'm saying that you, as the learner, are your own best teachers. You know, this program is set up in which I can establish what I want to learn, what I want to work on. There are some norms that you have to know about jazz history, and you have to know about some improvisational techniques and teaching students how to improvise and how to play. Those things go with the territory. Mainly, what I'm talking about is you deciding what is important for you to know. Example, um, some of my professors may never mention any songs that you work on. Who decides what songs I should work on? I do. And when I work on those songs, I have an idea of how I want it to sound, and I begin to go to work on it and begin to focus on those songs and the tunes, not just the tunes. It's a lot more than that. First of all, well, another thing I wanted to talk about is there are times where teachers need it. I'm not saying teachers never need it. I'm just kind of giving you what's on my mind. Uh, there's a specific point. I had a lesson with Pete Van Breg during the summer, and it was kind of like a get acquainted lesson. And I was asking him about altissimo fingers, and I was stating to him that my high F sharp is out of tune. And it's at the point where there's no lipping it up because it was playing flat and that kind of thing. And he just told me one thing that I didn't even think about. I was doing, if you are a sax player, you know what I'm talking about. You can do what's called a front fingering or a fork fingering. You grab the fork finger at the top. Then there's other additional fingers. If you're going to play altissimo, you have to know those. So I was doing the fork front key, and I was doing the A key and pressing the G key in the B flat key. That was my altissimo F. I don't have an F sharp uh, key. So what I was doing, I was finding it was really flat, and I just didn't like to go up to the note because it just sounded so flat. And he just immediately he said, "Oh, what you need to do is let up on the G key, and I want you to grab the bis key at the same time." And I did that, and immediately my